The potato can lives. Well, surprise, surprise. Yeah, the old potato cam's still going. You know, this phone's now 13 years old and it still runs fine. That is Sony for you. 13 years old and still got a good battery in it. You couldn't make it up. However, the phone that I bought in 2010, well, you know, their version of MPEG-4 it uses, man, the audio doesn't work. It did for a while on YouTube, and now they just decided, well, whatever reason, it doesn't work. So I've got to convert every bloody file. Hopefully, I don't have to convert this one. Anyway, just experienced a bit of rip snort of capitalism here in Australia. I'm just thinking a bit about it. You know, it's funny in America, like, it's a lot more capitalistic. When I say teabag, most of you will know who I'm talking about. When we were down in another church member's dwelling, when I met up with him a few years back, he was telling me, you know, different things like shops in the United States, department stores and whatever. They'll close at, you know, 10 o'clock at night and 11 o'clock at night. And here, Fridays it'll be 9 o'clock and everything else, well, yeah, maybe 8 if you're lucky. You know, a lot of places stay open till 9 p.m. on Friday night, but the rest of the time it closes at 5:30 and shit like this, you know. Even the fabric place I go to, we went to go on a Saturday to a place that sold solar equipment. Closed up, all locked up, not open on Saturday. He told me if this was the US, that would be open at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. You'd walk in the door, they'd have one of those capsule coffee machines that say, "Good morning, sir. Take a seat," and they get you to sit down on a couch or whatever. And what coffee would you like? They get you a coffee, and when the coffee's done, they'd hand you the coffee, and then they'd say, "Here's the catalogue," and hand you the catalogue, and say, "Well, you know, when you find what you want there, or you know, what are you looking for?" and flick to the page that has got it, and you know, when you find what you want there, tell us and we'll bring one out. And if you have any questions, we'll, you know, and if you said, "I want to see one of these," they'll go and get one and get out of the box and show you, you know. And he said, very, very obliging. And here in Australia, couldn't even be fucked open, you know. I have actually seen, and I saw my mum experience it firsthand, and my uncle, who had a number of Chinese girlfriends, also experienced it. It's not unknown. I could barely believe what I've seen. And then I'll have it happen to me, which it was more a language barrier thing with me. But Vietnamese kick you out of their fucking shops. Vietnamese are in shops in Australia, in Vietnamese-dominated suburbs, and they don't want white guys in there. You go out. And in this case, my mum was actually trying to ask the guy if he had a certain thing, and he took all the products out of her hand and kicked her out of the shop. You couldn't make this shit up. And they tell you about Australia being a racist country. Well, there you go. Vietnamese racism towards whites. I've seen it myself. Chinese, my uncle's experienced that. Chinese traditionally in their culture are highly racist anyway. In fact, the people of the north shit can the people of the south, and the people of the south shit can the people of the north. In my experience though, Chinese aren't nowhere near as racist as Vietnamese can be. But anyway, it's one of these things that happens, you know, like my mother, you're a willing customer, and they literally take the products out of your hand and kick you out. I mean, you couldn't fucking make this shit up. What happened to capitalism in this country? Anyway, I had another interesting little thing today. As some of you will find out in due course, I am doing a few things involving sewing, and well, in fact, I've got, well, 3 sewing machines now. One, we're just making minor modifications. It, yeah, had a failure. I bought it and it was buggered. and we managed to engineer something to get it running. And that's being spray painted and assembled probably today. The long story short, I've had a bit of time with the two major brands of sewing shops in this country. There's two major lines, and one's glorious and one's bullshit. And I remember a guy, given an explanation. He's a guy that does a lot of stuff on business, but he owns landscaping business, and he said he wanted to get a package of this size sent from this city to that city, and what about, different sizes or different weights. And he went to UPS and he went to FedEx, and a woman did not want to deal with anything other than just one package, and she was pissed off that she even had to deal with that. Really didn't want to have to work out how much it was for all the different weights of packages to the same city and how the rates would go according to those. She got this little fucking notepad, one of those little line things with a little wire coil on the top. Tore one of them out, handwritten in friggin' biro in pen what the rates were. And it took him a lot of nasty looks and pissing around for about half an hour at one joint. And then he went to another joint. Yes, sir, no problem, sir. Dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum. It was about 5 minutes, and he had a printed A4 sheet of paper with a whole lot all on the A4 sheet in 5 minutes. There's shops and then there's shops. In that case, he was dealing with courier services, but it's no different with sewing. I'll give you the example that I experienced today. Now, there's one shop that I go to. I'll just say it starts with L, and they're very good, and I've got a VIP membership with them and the whole 9 yards. And the first time I went there, I got a few bits and bobs, a pair of scissors, pins, I forgot to get a seam ripper, but I got that later. But just a few minor bits and bobs. They're all worth frickin' $5 or $2.50. Just random stuff. I go up there and I've got a total of, I don't know, probably $15, $18 worth of shit. And do you have a membership, sir? No. Do you want one? Yep. Okay. Phone number, name, address, boom, boom, boom. And bada bing, here you go. Here's a card right now. Right at the counter. They issued with me with a card. None of this bullshit of waiting for it to come in the mail and blah, blah, blah. I got another card for a supermarket, and, it took like fucking 6 weeks to come and shit like that. And, I think it might have been 8 weeks. It was so long I thought they just lost the paperwork. And, yeah, well, great joint, go there very often. And, not a problem with a lot of things. You can get what you want to get. And, you can ask them and they'll say, oh, this one's that or that one's that or whatever. And they might point it out. And, on occasion they come out behind the counter. There's often one of them walking around doing something, fixing something up. And you can walk up to her and ask her, where's this, where's that, boom, 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 if you can't find it, or if you're not highly experienced as I am. I've done sewing when I was a kid, but, I don't know about all the different sorts of cloth you can get and all that business, and I'm learning fairly quickly. The other joint, went to once before. Holy smoke. Sent me in the wrong direction. Where's this? Oh, they sent me over there. And I got over there, and then I asked the guy, I need stuff for, it was actually for this evaporative cooler thingy. Oh, what about this? And he shows me this fucking plastic-based stuff. And that's useless. It's not going to do anything. You know, so then I end up going back to the other girl. Oh, no, it's down in this area down here. Well, you know, you got all the fabrics in this area, but the particular stuff I was after was tapestry fabric. You know, basically that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's a real smart idea to put that away from everything else. In fact, it was down there, all the cottons they used, thick ones they used to, you know, so it sort of made sense in a way to have it there. Well, I go in there again, looking for something. Walk around like a dickhead for quite a few minutes, trying to find this one. Couldn't find it. Go up and ask them, don't come out from behind the counter, point that one over there. I think, you're fucking joking. I was looking at the shelf right below and I fucking missed it. Couldn't believe it. My bad. Anyway, to a credit, one girl did come out and come over and show me the ones, but the other two girls that are usually there, they just stayed behind the counter. And, you know, got to the counter and got me shit, and holy fucking cow, it was pricey. $35 a metre, and, you know, there she is, cutting it up. More or less wouldn't even look me in the face. And, do you have a discount card, sir? No. Doesn't offer me one. Just goes, oh, well, you wouldn't have got a discount on this anyway. That's it. Not do you want a card for the future, blah, blah, nothing. So I paid $35 for that stuff. And of course, and they're brilliant, so I decided to tape the bag. So you never reuse the bag again because they tape it, and to get the tape off, you tear the whole fucking bag to bits. But they don't have one counter for everything. They've got like one counter for, they've actually got like 3 individual counters. You got one for the curtain area, one for the cloth fabric area, and another one that's your main one at the front. So then I've realised I need to get needles as well. Too late. I've got to go out, put that shit in my car, come back in, get the needles, then go back to the main counter, go to the main counter, boom, boom, boom. You got a card, sir? No. Doesn't offer me one. No way. I look up, they got a poster on the wall. You get 10% off on your birthday, and you get 10% off on any patterns. What the fuck? I get like 20 to 25% off everything at the other joint. Now, I know you may say, oh, well, they blend it all into the price and it's all, you know, but the other joint you pay a shitload more. Well, sort of not. Because I then went grocery shopping and then went and hung around at the free Wi-Fi spot and watched a bit of YouTube, and then I thought, shit. I realised watching one of these YouTube videos that if I'm dealing with stretch fabric, I probably should have what they call woolly nylon, which is stretch cotton, so to speak. You know, like you thread into your, well, you're supposed to not put it on the top one, but you at least put it in your bobbin and it will run better. In your lower feed, not your upper feed and your lower feed. So I think, probably should get that, you know, because my sister's going to come down and show me a few things, and, you know, I don't want her saying, well, we need that, and then we don't have it at the time. So I went to the other place. And as usual, I come in the door and, you know, no sort of real sort of, you know, no big deal. You know, some of them, they sort of give you a look like, oh, there's a man in here. Ooh, what's a man doing here? Ooh. Well, for women's rights, but yeah, some of these cloth shops you come into, they're a little bit funny. They're, you know, they're not used to it. Okay. But I go into this shop and they've already seen me in there stacks of times. And the same shit that I paid $35 a metre for, I went up to they've got a little clearance section there, and, you know, there's the other joint I don't think has any clearance section. Not that I was really hanging around long enough to look, but the other joint starting with L always has a clearance section. So me being the tight ass I am, I'm always bumbling through it. And I've found some shockingly good stuff. And lo and behold, I found the same stuff that I got for $35 a metre, except this had a print on it. Now, I must admit the print looks a bit daggy. But when you're just experimenting and you're probably going to fucking wreck the thing anyway, does it matter if it's a perfect white or one with a print on it? It doesn't really matter because I'm probably going to bugger it all up anyway. And I'm not going to wear it. Well, certainly not going to wear it with that print. And to be quite honest, I'm not really making it for me as such, so I'm not going to be wearing it anyway. And this one with a print, have a guess how much you think it fucking was. $4 a metre. Holy fucking cow. On the other shit that was plain, now usually you assume prints are a more expensive one than plains. Well, the plain that I got from the other joint was $31 a metre more expensive than the one with a print at the place I usually go to, that I have the VIP membership. And I got that, and I brought it up to the counter, and like when I see most things cheap, how many metres do you want, sir? The whole frickin' lot. So I ended up getting 8 metres, and often enough, to be, one time there's 2.2 metres, and she go, oh, just charge it for 2. Don't worry about the 0.2, just charge it for 2 metres, And this, it's about 8 metres. I paid $32 for 8 metres versus $35 for fucking 1 metre. Holy smoke. And, here she was, unrolled it all, and she said, oh, can I roll it back up and give it to you on the spool? And I'm thinking, yes. At least I'm not going to fold it up and put it in a little bag and then tape the fuck out of it. And I said, yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, and she tried to roll it up. Well, it was all sort of a bit sloppy because instead of using one big cardboard roll, I decided to use 3 short ones. So then I'm rolling up one end and she's rolling up the other end together, and got it all back and got a bit of that other blooming stretchy cotton business and a few other bits and bobs. And that was it. Not a problem. And I come out of there with stuff so much cheaper, smile on their face, all that. And you sort of think, God blimey, there's places and then there's places. Both of these are major joints. Both of them are all over the country. Both of them are like franchises. And, there's capitalism and there's capitalism, and I know what place I'll be going back to again and again and again. And, I've even been to, the first one was, I've basically been to 3 different ones. And there's one in another city that I've been to more recently. The same thing again, smiles, happy, not scared of the fact that they don't normally see bloke, that they, everything. Not a problem. All happens without a problem. And, yeah. So anyway, try the one with the L, not the one with the S, if you get what I'm saying. And I definitely recommend them. And, yeah.